Hi everybody, my name is Lauren. Welcome to 101 Guitar Lessons. This is the very first video, so thank you for joining me. The whole purpose of this channel is really to help you learn how to play the guitar the right way, make it a little bit easier, skip all the mistakes that I made. A little bit of background behind me is I'm a former professional musician and guitar instructor for more than 20 years. And I thought I would bring that knowledge and share it with you, okay? Unfortunately, my life is pretty hectic these days. Well, fortunately and unfortunately. But all that means is that I don't have time to give private lessons. I haven't in a few years, and people do ask every now and then. So I thought I would direct them to this channel, and hopefully it can help everybody else as well along the way. So that's the basics. I want to set this up in such a way that if you were taking weekly guitar lessons from me as a guitar instructor, it would follow much the same format. Now, it's difficult because there isn't much give and take. However, if you have any questions along the way, I really encourage you to leave comments below, and I'll do my best to make a video in response or answer your question directly, okay? If you ever have any questions about the gear that I'm using to record this stuff, or what the guitars I'm using, or anything in the video, that will be in the description as well. I'll try to stay on top of all of that. I'm pretty new to the YouTube game, so cut me some slack, but I'm sure I'll figure it out along the way. All right. So as this is set up, basically, as I was saying, small miniature lessons each video. You can burn through a bunch of them, go at your own pace or one at a time. Really, like I said, it's set up as like a weekly type of lesson. And I'll teach you a little bit as you go along to build on that solid foundation. The first step is the solid foundation. So how do I get from knowing nothing to being able to play chords, switch chords really easily, being able to solo, single line stuff, riffs, all that. So how do I get from nothing to there? Well, it's pretty simple, but I'll take you through a step-by-step process. The first thing we need to do really is understand that the guitar is a coordination between your left hand and your right hand, and understand the parts of the guitar. So that's what we'll talk about in this first video. It's just the parts of the guitar, and I'll get you started on a very simple exercise. So let's get going. This is an acoustic guitar, and I would suggest starting on an acoustic rather than an electric for many reasons. You can also go with a classical guitar, which is similar to an acoustic guitar, but has plastic or nylon strings as opposed to the brass or steel strings on an acoustic. It might be a little bit easier on your fingers, but there's always some give and take. So I suggest an acoustic type of guitar to start, but if you don't have it, play with what you got. The basics are, these are the tuning pegs. This is the head, the headstock, the neck, the body. Okay, we don't need to learn every little thing, but these are just the basics. The strings. Now, when we look at the strings and I reference, a number, it refers to a certain string. The lowest or thickest string, the lowest in sound, lowest in sound, is the low E string, okay? Also known as the sixth string. So let's learn the numbers right now. It would be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay? Let's get that close up. 6, this is the sixth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that we know the numbers of the strings, let's learn the letters or the note names associated with them, because each string is actually a note. So the sixth string, is also known as the low E string. Then we have the fifth string, which is A. The fourth string is D. The third string is a G. The second string is a B. And the first string is an E. Let's get a close-up of that. Low E, A, D, G, B, and high E. Great. Now, the way that I suggest to learn the guitar from the beginning would be with a pick. This is known as a flat pick or just a pick. I'll show you what that looks like here. See if we can see that. Now, picks come in many different tensions or thickness. There's some very light, thin picks that are very flexible. There are ones that are kind of medium and ones that are very hard like this one. This one is very thick. I would suggest going with a medium or hard pick because the light picks are way too soft and don't give you enough control. So that's one thing in terms of choosing your pick. Now, in terms of the actual instrument itself, you can play single note lines, meaning single notes making a melody, or you can play notes grouped together like a chord. Some random chords there, okay? Those are known as open chords, and those are the ones that you're commonly thinking of when you hear songs that you're familiar with, okay? Now, there are also bar chords that move up and down the neck like this, but we'll get to that one step at a time, okay? The first thing I would like you to do is understand your picking hand. Now, this is my right hand. I'm right-handed. I fret with my left hand. I pick with my right. Doesn't matter if you're righty or lefty. These are just the basics. The same will hold true. When you're holding the pick, you kind of want to hold it along the base. It's basically like a triangle, okay? And you want to curve your first finger like you're pulling a trigger. All right, hopefully you're not, but let's call it a water gun. And the base, the tip of your first finger to your first knuckle is where you're going to rest the base of the triangle of the pick. And you're going to put your thumb over top, and the pick will be pointing away from you in that direction, okay? So you'll have some kind of basically like this, a grip sort of like this. I'll get a close-up of this. A grip kind of like this. We'll do that again really close up. So you're going to take your first finger, you're going to curl it in. The base of the pick goes from your first knuckle to the tip, and it's pointing out that way. You put your thumb over top, and there you go. And when you attack the string, you're going to pick it like this. So this is called alternate picking, meaning you're going in alternate directions, down, up, up, as opposed to all down. A lot of the time when people learn how to play, they learn all down strokes, and I think that's a hindrance rather than a help. Learn alternate picking right from the beginning. You don't have to do anything with your left hand. With your right hand, all you have to do is go down, up, down, up, down, up, all on the 6th string right now. Once you're comfortable with that, you can move it to the 5th string, 4th string. Now, it will feel a little bit weird. Now, to get some control over your hand from floating away and all over the place, I tend to use my pinky as an anchor. I'll put that on the body of the guitar. Well, let's look close up right now. On the body of the guitar, I will put my pinky down, and that keeps my hand from floating away. Now, you don't have to do this. You can float, but I find it gives me more control. I'm also picking around the back end of the sound hole of the guitar. So the back end of the sound hole is where you get the loudest, clearest sound. As you hear, if I pick further back, it gives me a different texture, a different tone, or all the way up, very mellow. So really, this is the most balanced sound right over the back of the sound hole. Okay, back to picking. So once you're comfortable with the right hand, what I'll suggest then is expanding that to strumming. Now, you don't know any chords with your left hand yet, and that's okay. If you lightly touch the strings, just lightly, you'll mute them, okay? So again, downstroke would sound like this, very percussive. Upstroke would sound like that. And we're not doing anything musical, we're just getting the coordination down. So down, up, down, up. Let's take a closer look. So I'm lightly touching the strings, and you're trying to hit all 6. Okay? Now that's basic strumming and picking. Now with your left hand, I'll get you started on an exercise. This is called the spider exercise, or it's a great finger exercise just to get going. It is not very musical sounding, but that's okay. You got to get the coordination first, okay? After this, then we get to the music. Left hand is going to play right here with your first finger on the 6th string, that is the thickest string, on the 1st fret. So these silver bars are called frets, and you're going to play not directly on the fret, but just before it. Let's take a closer look. So when playing, These are the frets, and you don't play on top of them, you play right before them, if you can, as close as possible without actually touching it, or touching it just slightly. Because if you're on top of it, you get a muted buzzed sound. Right before it is where you get the clearest sound, okay? The other thing that I should mention is that your fingers should stay nice and curved, like this. Your fingers, when you're playing the guitar, should be in the shape kind of like of a C, like you're gripping a ball almost. You don't want to hold it like it's a baseball bat or a hockey stick or a golf club. It's not a grip like this. When you're playing, it's just a pinch with your fingers, okay? And you want to make sure your thumb is in the back of the neck, kind of like in the cool dude hitchhiker position, and your fingers are nice and curved. You want some space in between your hand and the guitar. I'll show you what I mean. If I'm playing the guitar here, I'm going to hold a bar chord. I will turn the guitar and show you there is space in between my hand and the guitar right here. You see, right in there, space. It's not gripped like this. So, same holds true when you're doing single notes. You want that space. See that space? That's important. And notice it's just a pinch. It's like I'm pinching with my thumb. To develop that coordination, you can do this exercise. Okay, and keep your fingers nice and curved. You don't want them collapsing or going straight. Now back to the exercise at hand. You're going to play first finger, first fret of the 6th string, and you play it with a downstroke. Second finger is going to be played at the 2nd fret of the same string with an upstroke. Third finger, 3rd fret, downstroke. Keep those fingers nice and curved. And now yours might sound a bit buzzy, but that's okay. You're just getting started. 4th finger on the 4th fret, same string, the 6th or the low E string with an upstroke. So you're doing alternate picking, and you're working out and getting your fingers nice and strong. Let's get a closer look. First finger, 1st fret with a downstroke. 2nd finger, 2nd fret with an up. 3rd finger, 3rd fret with a down. 4th finger, 4th fret, upstroke. Down, up. Once you're comfortable with that coordination and everything is starting to sound okay and not too buzzy or muted, you can move it to the next strings. So I'll show you an example really quickly of going through all 6 strings, playing the 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 4th finger on the 4th fret. I'm never going to cross fingers. 1 finger per fret, that is it. That's their job, okay? So let's take a close look at this exercise as I go through it pretty quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alternate picking the whole way. Once you're comfortable with going up, you can try going backwards. That would be up on the 4, down on the 3, up on the 2, down on the 1. Up, down, down. Now, don't get discouraged because I played through this pretty quickly. It's going to take you a little while. You're going to hear buzzing. It's not going to sound perfect. That's okay. And guess what's going to happen? Your fingers are going to look a little bit weird. I'll show you. You see the lines coming along in my fingers there? They'll go away in a few minutes. But that's from pressing the strings, okay? And you're going to be pressing really, really hard in the beginning, and your fingers are going to get tender and sore. Again, don't get discouraged. That will go away, I promise. Just keep playing. Now, you don't have to practice for hours every day. Just a couple of minutes a day will build that strength and coordination, okay? That's it for this lesson. I don't want it to be too long. The next lesson, we're going to learn how to play some chords, okay? And we're going to start playing music. Stuff like that. Different rhythms. If you have any questions along the way, like I said, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll leave links down in the description. I'll also leave lesson material. So if you'd like a copy of PDF of what we worked on in this lesson, you'll find it in the description below, okay? If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. and share it on your social media with anyone you know that might be thinking of learning how to play the guitar. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos. And thank you so much. I appreciate all of you viewers and guitar lovers out there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.